Hi, welcome back to another segment of Coffee with the Candidates. We're here now with Lexington native Doug Lucente, who is running for the Board of Selectmen.
Welcome, Doug. So nice to
Welcome.
have you on the set at LexMedia, our new set.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Glad
Thanks
to
for
have you
having
with
me.
us. I just wanted to remind people as we're talking a little bit about who you are. You are a Lexington native. You live here in Lexington with your wife and two daughters who are students at in the public schools.
Yep.
They're both at Clark, right?
They're both
Oh,
at
that's
Clark,
Clark.
where I met my wife in 7th grade.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Yep.
Whoa, that's a story.
Yep.
And you know, I like to let people know you're a civic leader in the sense that you've been in town meeting, but also you're involved in so many other organizations, and most notably the Lions Club. People they're going to look at you and say, "I know that guy. How do I know him?" I mean, other than being omnipresent in town, you've been sort of like the front guy for the Lexington Lions Club Carnival. I know it's an organization. It doesn't take one person, but you've been on the ground with your dad and others, sort of organizing that event for, I wouldn't say almost decades at this point.
Yeah, yeah.
So and
Yeah.
And the Patriots Day Road Race.
Yep.
at Patriots Day Road Race.
Yeah.
So both very successful events, and we thank you for that. You're also a successful local business person, having started a company in your early 20s.
Yep.
That's now grown, and you own the building you're in Lexington.
Yep.
And you employ about 60 people.
Correct.
So that's very good.
Well,
And
thank
so,
you.
So welcome here, and we're excited to hear about some of your thoughts. We're talking to candidates, both school committee candidates and folks seeking a seat on the Board of Selectmen. You've been involved for a long time in a lot of different things, so it kind of begs the question: why the Board of Selectmen at this point? What's driving you there?
Well, I think having grown up here and having been involved in various activities, I'm a product of the Lexington school system myself, and I've always felt the need to give back to the community, which is why I'm involved in the Lexington Youth Commission, why I'm involved in the Lions Club, why I was involved in town meeting. And it's important that everybody get engaged in the community and give back, and this is the ultimate giving back to the community. And I think I have a lot of value I can add to the Board of Selectmen with my background as a CEO, with my background as an attorney, with my civic involvement. I understand how Lexington government works.
Right. There's
and I
not many
understand
committees
the
that you've
players.
not been in front of over the course of the years.
No, I've been in front of all of them, and I've worked closely with all the departments too. I've worked closely with the police and the fire and the DPW in organizing these events. And it's an important piece, I think, to bring to the table, but also the business experience and the commercial property owner experience is another huge piece of this. I have just gone through a major capital improvement project of my own in my the building that I own, where my company is headquartered. And the capital building project included making it handicap accessible. It included bringing it up to code and really modernizing it. And I'm aware what things cost in our capital projects that are ahead, and I've just lived through it. And I realize where you need to do the right things. And we don't have any handicapped people in our building, but we may. And I wanted to modernize it so that it's for the future of the town. And it's I'm here all day. I'm here all night. I live,
You
eat,
live and
sleep,
breathe
and breathe
Lexington.
Lexington. Yeah. So.
Well, Doug, why don't you talk a little bit about, you talked about your own capital project, and as you know, there's some big, questions out there in Lexington around and this is kind of a real big issue, the upcoming significant capital projects that are kind of on the horizon in Lexington. Yeah. From your experience, in your own, capital spending and projects, where do you see your background and your kind of input and experience can help the Board of Selectmen and also the Lexington residents with these upcoming large decisions?
You think it's important that we look at our revenue, right? It's not just about the expenses, it's about the revenue. How can we as a town improve the revenue we get from our commercial real estate market? I think it's an untapped or underutilized avenue to get revenue. We need to take the burden off the taxpayers. We can't expect the taxpayers to fully fund all these projects. They're too large, and they're all needed at once. We're in desperate need of a new police station that was built for 60 years ago when Lexington was a very different community. The fire department is crumbling. We have issues with the center streetscape that we've all been very aware of. And something has to be done. We need to make it more friendly for everybody. Whatever that is and whatever that cost is, it comes at a big price tag. Hastings School needs to be redone. We also have, as I've been running, I've been hearing complaints from people. The minute you say I'm running, people of course want to come out and say, here's my problem. But a lot of people are upset at some of the roads. And East Lexington, Mass Ave, I know that's a very complex project, but people are upset. The roads aren't finished to the quality they expect. And not every road, but some of these major thoroughfares we have to address getting them done quickly. And I think I bring not just my experience, in my Capitol building and CEO experience, but I was recently, a couple of years ago, fortunate to be involved in building the bathroom facility at Lincoln Park.
Right.
And that was one of those great projects that brought in other business owners. It was all privately funded, and we donated it to the town. I was fortunate that I got to be involved in every aspect of that project, and it really brought
touched
us
a lot of lives. You wouldn't think,
touched-
but it really does. I mean, that's a very popular facility up there.
It is.
Well,
and
that
it-
shows, and also the strong community in Lexington.
Yeah, and it was all privately funded, and the amount that we got it completed for was astronomically lower than what it would have been if the town had done it. And it was one of those projects the town couldn't get done for whatever reason. It just could not find it as a biggest priority.
Yeah.
But it was needed. As a parent, I know both of you have children, and as a parent going to Lincoln Field to enjoy the beautiful recreational facility, and then you find out your 4-year-old has to use the restroom, it was a nightmare. That's what turned me off onto we got to get this done.
Yeah.
When you have a 4-year-old that needs the restroom. So I was so proud and happy to be part of that project. And I think that is another one of those experiences that really allows someone to step back and say, what do we really need?
Yeah.
Are we getting the best bang for our buck in these projects that we're building?
It also kind of defines who you are, if I may, because you're somebody who works really well with others. I mean, when you talk about Doug Lucente, the common denominator is what a great guy. He's a good guy.
you,
He
Jim.
works hard, but still, it kind of goes to who you are, because you're really all about serving the best needs of the community, and it's really about Lexington. And not to, I don't mean to steal a phrase from Trump, but Lexington first. But still,
Don't move.
but the point is, you really are all about serving the community, and I think your record shows that.
Yeah, it's the most
And
important.
working well with others.
It's one of the most important things in my life is honestly Lexington community. I mean, I spend every waking hour that I'm not at work doing something, whether it be for the Lions Club or the Youth Commission. And a lot of what we're missing in town is more of this engagement of the community. And I'm not going to sit back and just talk about we need more engagement. I'm going to do it. We have so many talented people in Lexington. It's amazing when you look at their resumes.
Yeah, I like to say that we have more Nobels per capita than anywhere else in the country.
Honestly, someone told me the other day, they mentioned that I think we honestly do. For our town has more Nobel winners than anywhere in the world. So,
Anyway, I didn't mean to cut.
oh
you
no,
off,
but it's so important for us to tap into that, and although it may not be comfortable for people to get involved because they both work, maybe both spouses or parents work, it's crucial. What I see happening often is you have people that move into town for the schools, and then when the kids are done, all their connections to the community get severed. They no longer have the soccer game to go to. They no longer have the parent-teacher association meetings to go to. They're no longer involved in that school fundraiser. We need to make a bridge to bring those folks over from the schools into the community so they want to stick around. Because we're more than just history.
Right.
We're more than just the schools.
Right.
It's all of it, and it's how do we keep a thriving, vibrant community? And it's through the people. It's not through anything else. the people are what make this place a very special place. So we have to do a better job engaging those folks and keeping them part of it. And it's really outreaching to them and saying, look, we want you to be part of our team, the Lexington team, all of us. We don't need, you know, to function, we don't need every single person, but it really helps in the big picture of things to have the community engaged in all of our activities, fully engaged.
And you kind of grew up in this. You were a recipient of the Outstanding Youth Award, and basically, I kind of say tongue in cheek, it was a life sentence for you because because here you are so many years later. I mean, and I say that just kiddingly because I know it's a labor of love for you. But you've worked with so many generations of young kids since then. You went off to college, but came back, and one of the first things you did was sort of get reacquainted with the Youth Commission and act as a mentor to our youngest citizens. Yeah,
and it is a labor of love. I enjoy that so much. I got such a great opportunity to give back as a child. I was 1988. I was a freshman in high school, and I got an opportunity to be on the Lexington Youth Commission. And I parlayed that into, you know, the other kids need opportunities. The whole reason the Youth Commission was established was to keep kids out of trouble and doing community service activities. And if you look around, there's a lot of ways kids can give back, but not always ways to give back to Lexington. And what we do in the Youth Commission is we focus on Lexington activities. How do we serve the people of Lexington? And we do that through fundraisers for purchasing of gift cards for low-income folks at Christmas time or holiday time. We do that through feeding, serving meals at the senior center. We do that through maintaining a traffic island down at the center playground area.
And you do partner with other organizations like the Rotary and Lions, where you actually will work with the Rotary to deliver Thanksgiving meals. And
we do, and it gives the kids a sense of pride of being part of Lexington. And I think
how many kids would you say are involved in?
We typically have between 30 and 40 kids at any time, and we've had some amazing kids that have gone through that program and gone off to be doctors and lawyers
and police officers.
And police officers,
right here in Lexington.
Yeah. And it's I'm just so proud of the work we've done on the Youth Commission, and we're always looking to expand that role and you know, make sure we bring in more students.
Right.
And again, it's all about engaging everyone at every level and giving them opportunities to serve.
What are some of your priorities? If, let's say, you're elected to the Board of Selectmen, what would some of your priorities be as a new member of the board?
Well, one priority is we have to do some of these projects, right? We can't just talk about them. We have to actually get them done because
the capital projects.
Capital projects. Yeah, thank you, Colleen. It doesn't serve us well to continue to discuss them and then not do them because every year they have to get reevaluated for new cost, and every year it's much bigger. The costs go up, and the level of how much people want to spend is very difficult. You know, it's a challenge for people. I've had a lot of folks come up to me and say, I'm getting out taxed here. I can't afford this anymore. And for some, perhaps that's it. But I don't want that to be Lexington. We need to make it affordable for everyone who lives here. And so one of the priorities is really, let's get some of these projects done while the low interest rates are intact, before it's too late, and we're paying a much higher interest. And let's try to spread it out, and let's be creative about let's look at new ways to do old concepts. Maybe there is some private investment in some of these, private involvement of private groups. Maybe
you've shown private public partnerships work through the effort up at the Lincoln Street Field.
Yeah, that was a great project. So I think that's an important role. But the other thing I would like to see changed or improved is how we engage our staff, how we engage our visitors, and we need to make sure we're doing everything we can. I want Lexington to be one of those places that everyone wants to work, right? We've had a lot of changes in our senior staff over the last couple months even. And it's important that we attract good talent. And as a CEO of my company, that's what I've focused my efforts on, is attracting and retaining excellent talent. And it's allowed my company to grow tremendously over the last several years. But you can't do it without a good team. You get a good team in, you get good results. And that's an important piece of this. And and what the selectmen can do in that role is obviously make sure that we're hiring the right folks, but also to make sure that we're engaging them once they're here. We don't want an us versus them mentality in Lexington. It has to be we're all in this together.
So some more of that collaboration that you were touching upon.
And it's a challenge in that we have an increasingly diverse, community that live here in Lexington or work in Lexington. But and it's like everyone's kind of pulling in different directions. So it's important to make sure that we have some core values on the Board of Selectmen, people that that you can work well with, and I know you work well with all of them.
I can work with anyone, and I've proven that through my years. And part of it is listening, right? You want to listen to everyone. I don't care if you agree with me or disagree with me. I would love to hear from you, because once you start shutting down, that's when the ideas start to crumble. And you start to say, well, I'm not listening to this person. We have people in the community that have served this community so well for many years, and it's important that we still continue to reach out to those people that have valuable perspective on how we run things. And I want to continue to listen. And I don't want to, big mistake would be to get into the Board of Selectmen and then turn off your ears and just focus on town meeting.
So in talking about listening, what would you say over these last couple of weeks? You've been on the campaign trail, and it can be very exhausting at times, but what would you say has been one of the kind of your positive maybe surprises, or what have you learned most about yourself or about the Lexington residents while you've been out there campaigning?
That's a great question, Colleen. I think one of the biggest things I've learned is that there's so much to be proud of in Lexington, and we have such a beautiful community, but beautiful community center. We have beautiful recreational facilities. People are so proud to live here and so happy. I think what's happened is I'm realizing not everybody's equally happy, right? And there's this pressure on the community for how do we balance this excellent school system with the folks that really are tired of paying for everything that we're doing.
They pay for their own kids, right?
Now I want to move on, and I'm in a unique spot, right? I have 2 kids in middle school, and I have 2. My parents are both here, and they want to stay. They desperately want to stay here. It's a balancing act. I hear from them, oh my gosh, the taxes, and it's a legitimate concern of folks. And I hear, as a parent, I'm at Clark, and I'm standing in the hallway trying to watch, my kids perform in a thing because it's so crowded. So I get the crowded and I get the taxes, and it's really coming up with a balance. And part of that is being creative and listening to get good results.
And you're open-minded. I mean,
I'm very open.
Absolutely open-minded to doing what we have to do.
Exactly. We have to listen to everyone's perspective. And I think at the end of the day, we have to send the message, we're all in this together. Once you belong to this community, to me, it's like, it may sound corny.
Song on your website, we're all in this together.
But it sounds corny, but we're one big family in Lexington. At least that's how I've always felt. Whatever your background,
even with a changing
ethnic background,
demographic,
anything.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We have generations of people. It's, the folks with Cal, Peter Lee, Sophia Ho, all of those folks, and the newer sort of Asian Indian families that are moving in. They really bring a real value to the community. Whether it's culturally or otherwise. It's important, like you say, that everybody's needs are addressed.
Yeah, and that you were all in it together, all the different aspects of the people in Lexington.
I think what we'd want to be careful of is preserving our traditions and welcoming new ones at the same time. We can do that. Lexington has this great history of evolving. We're one of those towns we've evolved as the lives have changed and as new people have come on. And we need to continue evolving. And part of that, again, is engaging and welcoming those diverse members of the community so that we're all working toward the same results and being open to their ideas.
Okay. Well, as we're closing our interview, the time's too short, I know. How fast does it
just
go
started.
by? Well, for people that do have more information, because we obviously couldn't touch upon everything and want to learn more about your background and your priorities and really what you are interested in bringing to being on the Board of Selectmen, where can they go to find out more information?
They can go to my website, douglucente.com, and there's lots of information about me and how to get in touch with me.
And then there's many coffees and things.
And we're having some coffees. We're actually having an ice cream social
Oh, that's what a
on
great idea.
February 19th at the Depot building.
Okay, February 19th.
February
And
19th.
what-
Everyone's
what-
welcome.
What would you call it? It was you
Oh,
call
get the scoop on Doug.
Get the scoop on Doug.
Yeah,
I
my
like
wife
that.
came up with that one.
Okay.
So I got to give her credit. But that should be fun. Make your own Sunday. Bring the family. I want to make these things family friendly. You know, I have a family. It's not always easy to leave the kids and run out to a meeting.
Right.
Or, you know, and it's sometimes uncomfortable. I want it to be a welcome and open environment. And
And
thank you.
And then as we close out, though, we've been asking each of the candidates, a little corny, but why do we vote for Doug Lucente? Give me the elevator pitch.
I think I have the background and experience to do this job well. And part of that background and experience is my civic experience, my experience as a business leader in Lexington. I'm here day and night, and I care deeply about this community. And I want to be someone that can listen, engage, and be creative about how we solve our coming problems of the next 3 years.
Great.
So, and
Well,
thank you both so much. And thanks,
Thank you,
LexMedia.
Doug.
This is a
so
wonderful,
nice to have you on the
It's always
set.
good to see you. Doug.
wonderful opportunity to speak and a wonderful thing you're doing for the entire community. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Pleasure's all ours.
Thank
Yeah.
you both.